What's up, guys? This is Miles here with Ascendo Sports. In this video, I'm going to be covering why I think the Dallas Mavericks can become a future NBA dynasty now that they've pulled off this trade if Porzingis stays healthy and if they make the right moves. So I'm going to jump right into that. So we know we got dropped with a bomb that the Mavericks will be receiving Porzingis, Courtney Lee, Tim Hardaway Jr., and also Trey Burke, which is not in this tweet. And the Knicks will be receiving Wesley Matthews, Dennis Smith Jr., and DeAndre Jordan. Dennis Smith, who they should have drafted last year to draft. And they will also be receiving unprotected 2021 first-round pick and a protected 1 through 10 2023 first-round pick. So now I'm going to jump into what Dallas is giving away. Wesley Matthews, his contract is expiring this year. He's a good shooter. He is getting paid $18 million, but that doesn't really matter anymore. DeAndre Jordan, his shooting has gone way up. He can be a free agent this summer if he chooses to be. That's going to hurt Dallas and getting wins this season. And then Dennis Smith Jr., he has not gelled well with Luka this season. They knew that he had to go eventually. So I think it was the right move to go ahead and get rid of him, definitely in this blockbuster deal. Now to look what New York is giving away, Tim Hardaway Jr. is the only really valuable, healthy player in this trade package. He's shooting 35% from three. He's a pretty good scorer, but he struggled this season. Courtney Lee, he has really struggled this season. Just a few years ago, he was known as a laser three-point shooter, and now he can't hit threes that well. And then also Trey Burke, who hasn't played that bad this season, but hasn't been given that many minutes to really prove his worth. Shooting almost 83% from the free throw line. I think he can be put in the rotation. And another thing, just released yesterday after the trade, Porzingis is planning to inform the Mavericks that he intends to sign the qualifying offer in restricted free agency this summer, which is really good. So now we're going to take a look at their payroll. And I think it's crucial that they move Tim Hardaway Jr. and Courtney Lee. At least Courtney Lee. You will have a lot of cap open this offseason if you can move both of them before the deadline or even this summer. So here are my two choices for them. Moving Tim Hardaway to Brooklyn. Brooklyn is buying right now. If they don't want him for the long run, they have a lot of contract space. They can trade him in the summer. And then for Courtney Lee, we're sending him to the Rockets. They need shooters, even though he's been struggling this season. And then again, Brandon Knight, he's a free agent this summer, so it will not count against Dallas. So now, when we add it up, if Harrison Barnes and Dwight Powell accept their player options, the Mavericks will only have $50.7 million in cap space next year that is being taken up, which means they can chase almost two free agents that are close to the max. You'll have almost $56 million. Now, looking at Luka this season, he's having maybe one of the best rookie seasons we've seen in recent years, averaging 20 points a game, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists. Shooting it very well. He can improve his free throw percentage. And then another crucial piece, Harrison Barnes. He's still not playing amazing, averaging 18 points, 4 rebounds, shooting 40% from the three-point line and 83% from the free throw. Now here's some free agents I think they should be targeting. Kemba Walker, I don't think you'll be able to get a Kyrie, a Kevin Durant, a Kawhi, but maybe Kemba. And another one, Marc Gasol, if he doesn't accept his player option, he might be a guy you could definitely bring in. And then another one, Hassan Whiteside, if he doesn't accept his player option and wants to leave Miami. Now, of course, I'm not putting any of the marquee free agents up there because I think there's no way Kyrie, Kevin Durant, Kawhi Leonard, Klay Thompson, any of those guys, they're not going to be going to Dallas. But when it comes to some of these players such as Kemba and Marc Gasol, who have played in smaller markets, I think you have a good chance of getting them. And don't forget that they pulled in DeAndre Jordan from Los Angeles. They brought him all the way out to Dallas. And I mean, it's not because they gave him this crazy deal. They only gave him around $25 million for 1 year and then a player option. So they did not give him this massive max deal. I feel like there are a lot of teams that were interested. I know there were a lot of teams that were interested in him. So he could have went to a lot of places, and he was drug out of Los Angeles, pretty much the biggest market there is besides New York. He was drug out of Los Angeles to Dallas, and when he was brought there, they did not have Luka Doncic. He was not this upcoming rising player. He did not go there to win a championship. And the money wasn't that great either. So I think that they can pull in a free agent or two that is a perennial all-star, because that they could get DeAndre Jordan. Now, if Harrison Barnes doesn't come back, that's not a big shocker. But I don't think he's going to get... I think he's owed $25.1 million. I don't think he's going to get that anywhere else. So I don't see why he would leave this team. Definitely now that Porzingis is coming and Luka Doncic. They're, next season, you definitely have to make the playoffs if you're Dallas. They probably won't make it this year. Definitely now they've traded DeAndre Jordan and Wesley Matthews. But next year, you definitely have to make the playoffs. And then after that, if you didn't pick up, even if you don't pick up a perennial all-star free agent, you still have to make it. With your core of Porzingis, Luka, and Harrison Barnes, you have to make the playoffs next year in the West. I don't care how tough it is. But I do believe they'll be able to pick up at least one more all-star, perennial all-star type player. Maybe a Chris Middleton. I don't see him leaving Milwaukee, but somebody like him. Again, I think Hassan Whiteside and Marc Gasol work really good in this system, because then you could run Porzingis at the 4. And that's a massive matchup, because then teams that don't have even a dominant center, or even if they do have one dominant big man, you're still stretching them out. Definitely if you get somebody like Marc Gasol who can hit the mid-range and isn't afraid to take the 3, he might not make many, but at least he'll take it. So you have to respect it. But in the long run, I believe the Mavericks can become a dynasty. If Luka stays healthy and Porzingis stays healthy, you re-sign him next year. And then Harrison Barnes ends up signing an extension. That's a big 3 that is serious. When they're healthy, that's a big 3. That's legit. Harrison Barnes is an all-star player. Luka Doncic, he's right there. In the West, even though there's only like 12 all-stars, really the West has about 25 all-stars. He's one of those 25 all-stars, okay? Porzingis, when he's healthy 100%, I honestly believe he's a top 10 player in the league when he is healthy. Harrison Barnes, he's maybe flirting with top 50, but he's definitely he can be the third option on a team that can make it to the Western Conference Finals. I don't think he's good enough to be a third option on a championship team, but that's why I believe you have to pull in at least one more perennial all-star type player, even if it's a veteran and even if it's not a great deal. Even if you have to give Marc Gasol $20 million for 2 or 3 years, that might not be that's not a great deal, because he's old, he can get hurt, but you have to take what you can get. But if there's any chance you can get a player like Kemba Walker, you have to take that too. And give him the max, because he's balling right now. And I think he would definitely want to compete for a title instead of going to New York just to be in New York. He's played for Charlotte all these years. I don't think he'd be Charlotte isn't really a small market team, but they aren't a massive market. Charlotte's a big city, but the Hornets suck. And they've always sucked. It's not like the Lakers who've sucked in recent memory, or the Knicks who've sucked. I mean, at least at one time, those franchises were actually good. The Charlotte Hornets have always sucked. But I think he would maybe be a potential candidate. I think he would definitely consider a talk with Dallas if you have Luka, Harrison Barnes accepts his player option, and you have Porzingis there. That's a 3 that he's looking at. They don't have a guard. Well, Luka, he's a shooting guard, small forward. He's one of those tough players to put in one category. But Kemba would definitely fit in. They need a point guard. I think another center. And I think there's a possibility that if you can trade Courtney Lee and Tim Hardaway Jr., that you could maybe get a Kemba Walker and Marc Gasol. Or not even Kemba, Eric Bledsoe. Maybe he doesn't want to go back to Milwaukee. Maybe you get Eric Bledsoe and you get Hassan Whiteside. Any combination of those two, you become a serious threat in the West next year. Like next year, you become a serious threat if you can pick up one of those players. So that's all I have to say right now. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video.